It's SuperButterBuns! And also, SuperButterBuns, congratulations on hitting the 400K. You deserve it. You deserve a lot more. I hope you achieve it. Thank you very much for checking out our previous 2 videos that we did of yours. And we were sitting here thinking to ourselves, wonder which one we could watch that we have both played a lot of and is a game that is actually pretty damn entertaining and scary and all that.
And that I also haven't already watched.
Oh yeah, and that you also haven't already watched. I haven't watched this one either.
Buns.
Yeah, I haven't seen this ButterBuns video.
I thought
either.
you were going to say we were sitting here thinking, how many buns could a ButterBuns butter if a ButterBuns could butter buns?
A lot.
Probably.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're here watching Resident Evil 7 for beginners, but you all already knew that. You clicked the video. You know what the title said. So, Buns, if you're watching this, thank you for the awesome content, and you keep putting it out there. We'll keep recommending it. We'll keep bringing we will try and bring as many people as we can to your channel. I hope, Buns, I hope this year you hit 1 million. That's what I hope for. I hope that you hit 1 million, and I hope that you have every success in the world, because you deserve it. You deserve it in so many ways, because you're so entertaining, and honestly, you're just awesome. You are. I know you self-deprecate and you say, ButterBun, can't stand that. Can't stand that jerk. Yeah, and of course we reciprocate that deprecation with, yeah, I know what you mean, right? Yeah, but we don't mean it. You know we love you. So anyway, we are
like not only is ButterBuns entertaining, but ButterBuns is informative.
Yes, ButterBuns is very informative.
2 for 1.
And ButterBuns is legit gamer grill. ButterBuns is like legit as fuck, and has so many interesting things to say. So anyway, I say on with the video, and let's see what Bunsy has to say about Resident Evil 7 for beginners.
Warning: the following video was rated M for if you're young, you shouldn't watch this, so viewer discretion is advised. But hey, I won't tell if you won't. So Resident Evil 7 came out in 2017, and everyone was like,
yeah! I have the power of God!
The game received mostly
pretty much.
And after years of duking it out with the critics and fans, Capcom finally found some footing with their latest installment of that weird gunk stuff that collects in the sink with bad mojo mixed in, featuring dirty people yelling, the video game. Because Resident Evil 7 had the standard RE formula, but it gave it a modern twist to shake up the series once again. AKA, they broke out the next-gen gaming taser and lightning chain the thing back to life. Going from third-person action to first-person survivor horror, Resident Evil 7 was a first for the series, but it also went back to some of its roots to bring you a poop-your-pants-inducing, terrifying family experience. Because this time you can see your hands closer than ever before. But even though the change in perspective was fitting for the horror focus, not everyone was happy with the new approach and the game in general. Accusing Capcom of swoozing in to fill the void that Silent Hills was supposed to fill in our sad, nihilistic hearts, you weirdos, people felt the game wasn't quote-unquote Resident Evil enough, because it checked off too many of those modern horror game tropes. But lo and behold, it didn't really matter, because Resident Evil was one of the first AAA games with full VR support. And surprise, surprise, y'all, anything is scary when you have a toaster strapped to your face, and the sensation of a hillbilly making out with your ears is all too real.
Welcome to the family, son.
And for the record, guys, I am going to be covering the non-VR version of the game. Not that it makes much of a difference gameplay-wise, don't you worry, but there are some slight differences. But Lord knows I'll never really know, because there's no way you're getting me in that white hell box, since I love myself, and also I have a fat head. I'm not even sure if it'll fit properly. But anyway,
I got a fat head too. It fit me pretty good.
Tips, tricks, and heads up for people who don't know about this game. So you play as Ethan Winters, a handsome... actually, we don't really see him that much. He could look like this in the beginning for all we know, but the game is in first person, y'all. What do you want from me? Anyway, you play...
They actually did do like a little bit of a ROM hack where they actually took the camera out of Ethan's player model. Turns out the camera is in his chest, and he doesn't have a head.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird when they did that. I was like, oh, what do I? But we actually do see Ethan's face a little bit whenever we play as Mia in the later part of the game. We actually do see that a little bit. So yeah, that's fun. Fun. Fun.
Is Ethan, a stupidly determined, over-loyal husband who receives a totally normal update message from his wife Mia, who has been presumed dead for the last 3 years, warning Ethan to quote-unquote stay away. And being the total smarty pants that he is, decides to do the exact opposite of that and goes looking for Mia at the last place she was seen at, the good old nice warm southern living Louisiana Baker Plantation. I hear their clothes are just lovely. But quickly after arriving, it's very apparent something ain't quite
Welcome
right
to
in
the
creepy
Baker
in the middle of
house.
nowhere.
They've
I don't
got
know,
all
could
sorts
be
of
the
scary
abandoned
shit
TV van,
inside.
That's kind of weird. Or maybe that dead horse gateway into Sludgeland. That should raise
No, it's a cow,
or,
actually,
Hey,
but-
maybe that tape that shows people getting killed in the house that you're currently in. Nope. Still going? Alright. Well, despite all the warning
Apparently.
signs, the house is going to be a bad time, Ethan still somehow dives in headfirst to find Mia. And after a fun little lover's quarrel, Ethan gets knocked out and is kidnapped by the family. And then he starts to mentally consider online dating for a little bit after some self-reflection. But it soon becomes very apparent that stuff is hella messed up in the Baker Plantation, and there is something much darker and sinister at work in the house. An unnatural evil keeping hold of the residents. A resident evil, if you will, and oh my god, that's the name of the game! But Ethan's limits are put to the ultimate test to escape the demented family's grasp and to help find a way to solve the mysteries of the household in hopes of saving Mia with whatever the heck is up with her. Oh, gotta get me a freak like that, hot dang. But along the way, you'll meet receding hairlines, confused people, big boy toys, parental guidance, fragile drywall, angry licorice, Ellen Perry mode, good fun omnipresent company. A desperate need for soap, home family cooking, shadow puppets, freakishly real ambient noises. What the hell was that? Hands up for Jesus. Who designed this house? Sexual tension. Swamp stank, just terrible. Passive aggressive doors. Bigger, better, stronger bees. Fresh country water. Personal space, screaming, yelling, bathtub socks, and learning what family really means.
And rolling.
There's no joke for this. I just think this opening is really cool. Now,
Yes, it
obviously,
is.
there's a big fat 7 hanging on the end of the game's title, but fear not. No, you do not need to know anything from past Resident Evil games to understand RE7's main plot. This is a brand new cast, new situation, new funky gunk smells, new everything. Although, even though Resident Evil 7 brings in a lot of new, this is still very much a Resident Evil game and in the RE universe with some connections to past games, even if they aren't super apparent right away. So I can say that if you know the Resident Evil lore already, that's great. Here's a cracker. Congratulations on being that one person, because then certain things will fall into place way easier. But the fun part is discovering the connections to older games, either with the main plot or through reading optional papers, files, and little goodies hidden throughout the area. That adds more background and detail to the whole Black Goo crew.
Hey everyone, Carmen got his kids for me. I can't go to Judge right now.
It's a story that is straightforward for newcomers, but rewarding for fans, so everybody gets to have a swell time, except for Ethan, who's gonna need a lot of therapy after this. I don't know, try to have fun with it, y'all. But stuff is as deep as you want it to be. You can look at this story as some desperate, dense numbskull trying to get his moody wife back from the in-laws that just need a good shower and a nap, or as a bio-monster mystery to solve, because the southern lady on the phone promises answers and a plate of cornbread. But by the end of the game, all your burning questions will be answered
All
in
that-
one way or
I will
another.
say
Like
this.
in the DLC, Naughty
Zoe's southern accent is not good. It's not good.
Fair enough.
She
know
plays
what
it
that
a little
is.
too much close to the chest. I'm like,
Hero, available now for it's f***ing free. Check it out. But no matter which way you slice and dice the story, you'll probably end up getting sliced and diced yourself. Lance, get it?
yeah.
He dies. I'm trying to downplay this, guys. He gets his head cut off. It's kind of gruesome. Oh, comedy's fun. Alright, so now you know the setup as to why you're trapped in the Banjo People's Mansion, but how are you gonna make your way downtown without walking too fast? Well, to break it down for you, Resident Evil 7 is a semi-linear first-person shooter survivor horror experience, if the horror in first person wasn't already obvious. Spooky! Now, your main objective is to find Mia and just get the heck out, but the game realizes it needs to pad out its playtime a little bit, and you're gonna come across a few rough bumps along the way, and things are gonna get messy. So to explain how your journey into Willy Wonka's Danko Land is gonna work out, the game is a combination of linear sections where it's stand here, hit this, run there, with some story, action set pieces, big spooks, and slappy Grandpa Pappy with the love paddles, mixed in with open areas to explore, filled with puzzles, enemies, and traps that require some type of item or a series of items in order to unlock more open areas, which eventually moves the story along so you can see more of this dumpster fire of a situation while fighting some fudge monsters for your dear life, and hooray, you're traumatized! Now, of course, the game is gonna keep you on your toes since your objective is gonna be jumping all over the place and stuff goes real south real fast, but for the most part, your objective will always be as clear as day in one way or another, mainly because you can check it whenever you're in the menu, and the check on the phone will literally scream in your ear about what to do next. But rather be escaping smelly Grandpa's beaten stick or navigating a tunnel full of pudding, it is important to stay alert and think critically to get out of situations so you don't get your face peeled off by whatever the heck that is, and hey, back it up! Hey, leave me alone! Now, in linear sections, it's pretty easy as to what you're supposed to be doing. Don't die, go here, pick up this, hide for a little bit, and be yourself and have fun. But most of the big objectives will always include finding key items, since that's what makes the magic happen. But when you get access to the more open areas, you might feel a little overwhelmed with your options and where the key items are. Now, it is pretty obvious which areas will progress the story, hint hint, the big doors of exotic flavors, but it is important to be mega thorough and explore all the areas to make sure you get everything you need to make this crappy vacation kinda worth it. And then you go, God, why did it get so dark suddenly? Hello? Oh, this is weird. Oh, I don't like it. What the fuck? Now, key items are a must for opening doors and whatnot, but some items are critical to solving puzzles, and those can range from raising bridges, burning shadows into the wall, winding clocks, and then some puzzles don't require items at all, and all you can do is just beat your head into the wall until God blesses you with one of the answers. But don't panic too much about the puzzles. You're a smart cookie, I'm guessing, since you made it this far into the video without having a piss baby temper tantrum. And most, if not all, of the puzzles are logic-based and normally can be solved within the immediate area if you got all that you need. And ding dong, we in business, boys! Now, this is a big FYI. You will be able to backtrack like 85% of the game in order to unlock other areas once you get the right item. So be mindful of locked doors when you find them, because chances are you'll be back. Oh, you'll be back. Because those doors are sexy. Oh my. So like you come here often? But the best way to make sure you get everything that you need so you don't run around in circles forever like a chicken is to interact with everything. Like for reals, guys, if you got the slightest hunch you can move, open, shoot, sniff, tongue, or punch something, just do it. Because you might find some neato stuff in the process, am I right, guys? Now, truth be told, the shake and bake smelly zone isn't all that big, and if you feel like you've missed a spot, you can always check your map to help you make sure that you covered everything from head to toe. Leave no door unlocked, no room unexplored, along with looking for, I'm sorry, what? Now, assuming you explore stuff properly, you'll come across tapes, which can be used in the TVs. And these things are mega important in the first playthrough, since the tapes act as playable flashbacks, since everyone has a GoPro strapped to their head, apparently. So you can discover some type of information, strategy, or passageway that will help you later on in the game. Now again, these are playable sections, so get ready to duck, hide, and solve some puzzles in the process. But if you're going in blind, you kinda have to watch these things in order to not get bamboozled later on. So always keep an eye out for them, and don't forget to sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie.
All shiny and moist and obviously buttery.
Finally some good content. Okay, now let's hoot and aggressive poop and adventure. Gameplay-wise, Resident Evil 7 is, let's say it all together now, a high-velocity lead adventure of death. Ergo, you're gonna be doing a lot of shooting. You like guns? Well, you better, because you're gonna be blowing off heads to expose the delicious gooey center hidden inside. Delicious. But for reals, when you start off the game, you'll have very little to work with weapon-wise, but as you explore more areas and progress the story, you'll get access to more weapons, little doodads, that make the difference between life, death, and a sense of support and comfort. Oh my god, I'm in love! Now, I don't think I really need to explain how shooting works. You point, you hit the button, and stuff dies, just like in real life. But the game functions like any other shooter, except for a few things.
Good jokes.
First being blocking. But the pure grace of the Lord, barely any enemies in this game have guns, as weird as that would be. 90% of the time, you're going to be going up against enemies with melee attacks, and you're going to be able to guard against most incoming attacks if you block at the right time, assuming you're in kissing distance between you and Sugar Lips. This is kind of important, guys, because Ethan is a delicate little cupcake, and if you get smacked around enough, it's game over.
Yeah.
You suck.
Now, truth be told,
Yeah.
the gang,
I
you don't
didn't
have to block out
understand
all,
blocking
because
that
the
much in the
best way to
beginning. It
not
took me a
die
while to get
is
it.
Distance,
I thought I was gonna die so hard at this part.
D-I-S-T-A-N-C-E. Distance. I
What?
don't care if you're
part
shoved
it was
into a
just
broom
showing-
closet with some of
Yeah.
these dudes.
I thought I
or
was
forced
gonna
to do
die so
essential
hard there,
tingo
and it
tango.
actually went
You make that
surprisingly
space.
smoothly for
you
me.
own that space, and then you run away from that space because he just stepped into mine. Though, oh, back up. For reals though, most enemies are rather slow, so don't be afraid to turn around and book it, then pivot back, lock and load, and then op from long. Reminder, everybody, the
Nice.
best offense is a good deed. Being a coward.
A message brought to you by the Clean Pants Society, because shitting ain't to us.
The second combat thing in this first-person shooter game is that you shouldn't be shooting that much. To be blunt, there is a great ammo recession in the Baker house, and stuff ain't exactly coming out the yin-yang, and it's very, very important to conserve ammo as much as possible. And I'm really stressing this, guys. One shotgun shell can feed a family of 4, so it's kind of a high commodity. We'll get into the item details soon, but always be on the lookout for ammo, and don't shoot stuff unless you have to. There are several situations in the game where you just need to run away, sit down, and shut up so you don't get powderized on sight. Back up. No. Now, granted, there will be beef jerky monsters in certain areas, and you should always give them the guacamole when you can. But when it comes to the family, trust me, you'll know when you
guacamole.
have to fight. Mainly because the game will lock you into a room with them, and it'll be really obnoxious about it. Also, an FYI, when in boss fights, be very mindful of your surroundings, because sometimes stuff in the environment is hell of a lot more effective than your little pea shooters. So when the going gets tough, start panicking and looking around the room for things that can murder people and save your little suburban white butt. Ah, gosh dang it, it backfired. Back to bullets, though. The best way to conserve ammo is to just shoot things in the face, since that's the weak point most of the time. And the faster things die, the less shooting you'll need. But certain enemies are weaker to certain weapons, so if you can't kill something, you probably need a specific weapon to light those suckers up to high heaven. Now, one thing to mention is yes, you do get a little dinky knife that can be used in combat to save ammo, but I don't recommend it at all. The knife is best suited to opening up boxes and slapping big bugs around, and that's it. Because when in combat, it has to finish its swing animation before you can block for some god-awful reason. And going in for a bear hug with a sledge demon holding a spork isn't the best idea. But as long as you prepare properly, stay vigilant, and ignore all your natural instincts to run in the other direction and take a crying break, then nothing can stand in your way, because you are Ethan Winters, damn it, boring protagonist extraordinaire, ready to take names and kick butt, and there ain't nothing nobody can do about it. Except that. Okay, now I've already talked about finding the key items to make your way through the story, but Resident Evil 7 is like one of those stupid farmer, geese, fox, grain puzzles half the time, because you're going to be getting a lot of stuff that you're not sure what to do with. Can't stress this one enough, guys, but items are the key to survival, ranging from healing items, ammo, lockpicks, LSD, pictures of God knows what, maps, gears, and even repair kits for broken weapons. Hell yeah! But you're going to be using everything you get to stay alive, since resources are in mega short supplies, so it should go without saying, search everywhere. You're gonna have to look through nook, crannies, lockers, boxers, crates, kegs, barrels, carols, trash bags, body bags, chairs, lairs, high, low, up, down, all around, wombo, pombo, chicken combo, everywhere. Please and thank you. Because if you don't search around enough, eventually you're gonna get cornered by a boss while simultaneously peeing yourself, and that knife ain't gonna save you. Oh, never mind. Now, some of the items you might come across are only meant to be combined with other items to create the stuff you kinda need. Like mixing gunpowder and chemicals together gives you bullets, and then mixing GB Weebies with chemicals gives you a tasty beverage you dump all over yourself to heal gaping holes on your body. The wonders of Gatorade, everyone. Now, the combining stuff is not exactly rocket surgery, guys. It's kinda hard to mess up, but it is a priority to make healing items and ammo as much as possible, because at the end of the day, not being dead from not dying by making other things dead is the secret to winning. And yes, that sentence did make sense, thank you. Now, a majority of the basic items you need will just be laying around without a care in the world, but you're gonna have to work to get the real goods. At some point in the game, you're gonna come across antique coins. Some are just laying around, and others are stubborn with an attitude problem. But these coins are gonna be used to literally unlock new weapons and special items, like increased health, faster reload times, faster movement, and funky fresh acceleration. The point is, always keep an eye out for these coins to beef yourself up, because they can do nothing but benefit you. You know what? I got a great feeling about this. Now, getting items is pretty straightforward, but this is a Resident Evil game, and you can't just be shoving shotguns up your butt. All this stuff has to go somewhere. So, welcome back to SBB's classic inventory management. What the do you mean I can't just drop items and put them back? Special edition. Now, hilariously, the biggest and most difficult puzzle in this game is just managing your inventory, because your space be tiny. More than once will you be mocked and provoked by the not enough space message when you try to strap a rocket launcher to your elbows. I honestly think the game gets a kick out of it, but this is where a lot of the game's backtracking comes from. In every area, there are a handful of safe rooms with a nice feng shui where you can save, get items, and the most important thing, dump your crap. It is mega important you drop off stuff in the boxes all the time, and to be switching out the key items you only need at that moment to make space in your inventory to pick up more stuff. Now, if you do get desperate, you can just straight up delete items from your inventory, but I don't recommend that since items are mega scarce. So I don't want to hear no moaning and groaning about going back to drop stuff off in the box. Now's the time to embrace the minimalistic lifestyle, y'all, because that extra space could save your life. Real talk, though, you should only be carrying the pure essentials with you. Just guns, ammos, healing items, maybe some chemicals, or a lockpick, and a fresh pair of underwear, and that's it. Everything else is just pure poo-poo garbage, useless when you're on the move. Now, luckily, the safe room boxes are connected to the same cosmic energy, and anything you drop off in one will be in the other, so you don't have to worry about your stuff being separated. The boxes are strong, powerful beings that understand the need of keeping your items in the same place.
We're gonna get a copyright strike on this one because of that.
Beautiful, sentient creatures. God, they're majestic. Anyway, the main thing to take
hey,
away
if Buns
from this
hasn't
is that
gotten one, who's to say we won't?
just
Oh,
as
that's
important as
right.
staying alive, because
Alright,
yes, this can of hairspray will banish all the evil in the name of the Lord our God. Die! Okay, between you, me, and the NSA agent watching you right now, Resident Evil 7's main game isn't all too terribly long, and you can blow through the story a lot faster than you think. But don't think that once you beat the game, that's all there is to see. Oh no, 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 because Resident Evil 7 has collectibles, unlockables, side content, and a crap ton of replay value to stretch that playtime out as far as it'll go. Oh, it's snapped! Ah, damn it! Now, the first most basic collectible is actually something you can get on your first playthrough, and those are the Mr. Everywhere bobbleheads. Throughout the area are little bobbleheads hanging around in low-key areas, and all you gotta do is take them out before they take you out. Try me, but for real, all you have to do is destroy all 20 of them in the game, and you'll unlock some neato stuff in the next playthrough, so keep your eyes peeled, or just look up the locations. Information down below, because even if you can't see them right away, they can still see you. The rest of the major collectibles, like unique weapons, infinite ammo, or bold and brash fashion choices, can really only be accessed after completing the game, or by beating it under 4 hours, or by completing the game on Madhouse difficulty, aka I hate myself mode, which can only be unlocked after beating the game. You see where I'm going with this, guys? You want all the goods, you're gonna be replaying this game a lot, so buckle up, strap the George Foreman grill to your face, and melt your eyes out, cause we going to Flavor Town at max speed! Now, truth be told, if you don't mind giving up some of that coin and self-respect, you should really look into the optional DLCs, like the banned footage volumes that are a series of puzzles and mini-games with some story stuff sprinkled in, with mind-altering, terrifying imagery that has scarred me for life, or, once again, Not a Hero, which gives you some extra closure to some characters, throwing this in here again, cause, you know, it's f***ing free. And then there's The End of Zoe, a hefty story DLC that answers some lingering questions after the main game, featuring hillbilly death punches to the swamp people. God bless America. You kinda have a lot of options with how you want to expand the Resident Evil 7 experience, but please know that this is a game designed to be played more than once. So take your time and have fun. You'll experience something new every playthrough. Lord knows I did, and people may be getting shish kebabbed alive, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's not about the destination, but the journey, and the friends we made along the way. Okay, so here are a bunch of tips and things you should know before you get started. Some pictures you come across will reveal the location of treasures. Keep them in mind when you get time to explore, and be thorough when investigating the area. If you're really desperate for health, you can just straight up eat herbs by themselves if you have nothing to mix them with for some baby health, but it's better to save them for mixing if you can. Always make sure to mix items and reload your weapons before going into new areas so you're not frantically navigating your inventory while being attacked. Really try to save shotgun ammo for bosses because that's where they're most most useful. The jerky enemies can just straight up despawn if you run away or pass them far enough, so if you're not really in a position to fight, just book it. But try not to get stuck into a hallway with them, okay? Okay. Don't forget to rotate items around so you get all those angles so you don't miss anything important. The yellow pills help you see where items are for a limited time, and I highly recommend saving them for bigger areas to maximize item collecting so you can see all the things. The flamethrower is really only good for swarms of bugs, so try not to let it clutter your inventory when you're home free. If you notice the game is getting awfully generous with items right before entering a big room, you're probably about to get slam jammed, so be mindful of that. Also note that boss areas normally have items laying around, so nab those goods while you can. Use the repair kit on the broken shotgun when you get it. I don't think I really need to explain myself on this one. If you are playing on normal mode, the Magnum gun may look really enticing, but it's best to save your coins for the performance upgrades above all else. I'm sorry, Deborah, I know the truth hurts. Around the halfway point of the game, if the item crates start making ticking sounds, you probably shouldn't hit them. Ethan, you drooling gorilla, why are you like this? The Madhouse difficulty of the game makes stuff super hard and changes the item locations a ton, so play with caution, y'all. Just a little FYI, everybody. Resident Evil 7's story isn't a total done deal. You got some room to shake stuff up a little bit near the end, but word of caution with this. Remember what you came here for, and everything should be all good.
It's for the way you look.
God, what a power couple. So while Resident Evil 7 wasn't seen as a total masterpiece by everyone, the game did take a massive leap into a new direction to give the series a fresh breath of traumatizing air. But the game still kept its Resident Evil identity while reinforcing the idea that the titles are not bound to just one type of genre or design, but rather an ever-adapting and evolving series that keeps surprising people while sticking to the same goals, to make you really want to invest into a power washer and clean out your shower. But I hope this basic beginner's guide makes your gaming experience a little better. So please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Well, this video is only technically a year late. Oh, amazing, I know. We finally did it. Thank you so much for sticking around and making it to the end of this little extravaganza. I want to give a hug and thank you to my lovely Patreon supporters. Without you guys, none of this would be possible, and it is because of you guys I can take the time to create videos I am very, very proud of, and I hope you guys enjoy them too. And this episode's Patreon shout out goes to Emma M. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and don't forget to go tell Aunt Rhodey. I think it's her name. Rhodey?
Rhodey.
Also,
it's
special
Aunt Rhodey.
Thank you to these patrons who got the early access version of this video and gave me a bunch of feedback. Sean, Drunner, Danny's Eye Patch, and Shay Dylan. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and giving me the deets, your feelings, your thoughts, and stuff. You guys really help point me in the right direction. If you'd like to support me on Patreon and get access to a bunch of special perks like early access to videos and giveaways, go ahead and check it out. It helps me out tremendously, especially considering this video is most likely going to get demonetized because, you know, people's heads are getting lopped off left and right. Family-friendly content, right? That's what we all like. Besides that, that's it. Video's done. Go ahead. Twitter, Twitch, throwing out support. Whatever, I'm tired. Don't forget to follow that subscribe button and subscribe to that like button. All right, guys? Get the heck out of here. Toodles.
Right on.
So yeah, RE7. That was a game. I thought it was actually, it's probably one of my favorite ones. I think it's not, okay, it's not as revolutionary for the franchise as 4 was, but I thought it was a lot more terrifying than 4.
From what I've played so far, it's kind of like, I think it depends on, well, all horror depends on the person playing it. Because it depends on both just what you're scared of in general and what you've already been desensitized to, essentially. Because, like, I used to be fucking terrified of zombies. And then I started to like zombie movies because they scared me. And then after a point, they became not scary to me.
Well,
but I still liked them a lot, and I liked playing games with them in them, you know?
Well, these aren't really zombies.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm not saying they are. Like, I'm just talking, like, you know, that's, you can be desensitized to certain things. If you're desensitized to a whole lot of horror things, it's harder for you to be scared by games, and that's basically me. The most terrifying game I've played recently that makes Resident Evil 7 look like fucking, like...
Visage?
Yeah, just a walk in the park is Visage. Like, Visage is goddamn horrifying. Like, just... Everything they did in that game is basically done to just make you feel more and more vulnerable and more uneasy as you go through it. And nothing in it, like, consistently makes sense. because it's all supernatural and like just, you know, random shit happening. So you never know what's about to fucking happen next. Whereas like Resident Evil 7, there to an extent has at least a little bit of predictability. It's like, you know, okay, there's a man coming at me. He has pointing object. He's not going to die very quickly if I start shooting him, and it's going to take a lot of bullets if I want to shoot him and kill him. And it's like, yeah, that's still been Resident Evil for a long time. Like, at this point, I find it a little less scary. And, like, honestly, like, when I was playing through it, I was kind of just wanting to be done with it. And I didn't get the vibe that I really cared to replay it again after I finished it the first time. It's like, I wanted to experience it, to see it at least once, you know, but even though it's, like, really replayable and such, it's not one of my favorite horror games I've played. But, like, I can totally see where it scares the living fuck out of a lot of people, and they like it for that reason, you know? And, like, I can see where a lot of people like the gameplay of it and everything. It's just, in terms of horror games, it's probably, like, something that I would recommend someone else play more than I would want to play it myself, if that makes any sense. Because I'm like, yeah, dude, like, if you're wanting to be scared, Resident Evil 7 will probably scare you. Me, not so much, but it's just me specifically. It's how I see horror stuff, you know?
Well, fair enough.
Because it felt, even though it's like a different thing, you know, it still felt a shit ton like Resident Evil 4 to me. Like, it just felt like first-person RE4. And
I'm sorry, what?
It felt like first-person RE4.
I'm sorry, I can't understand bullshit. I hate to tell you, but no. Your mobility as Leon versus Ethan's mobility, and plus the amount of a variety of weapons that you get in 4 versus 7, and also the enemies as well. The enemies are like in 4 they are you pretty much kill the 5 exact same villagers. Think about that.
In 7, you pretty much kill the 4 family members and the same sludge monsters.
There's some variety to the sludge monsters. There's the creepers. There's the
in 4, you actually
arms,
have the 4 same villagers. You have regenerators. You have the dogs. You have El Gigante, the swamp monster. What else was there? It's like, I know I'm actually just missing something. There was a lot of variety on the enemies in 4, actually. The thing that pissed me off about 4 at the time when I was a kid, though, was I was like, these aren't zombies.
That's one thing about 4 that a lot of people have grown, you know, disillusioned by over time, is that the bosses overall the game is an action masterpiece, but in terms of the horror aspect, it loses a lot of its vigor.
Yeah, there's not a
lot
of horror to it.
Whereas in 7, the horror aspects that are there, you know, the body transformation, the losing yourself to something unknown that you have no idea what the hell's going on, and all that is something that is more terrifying.
Maybe it's just me being overconfident, but I felt the entire time like I know exactly what's going on. Like in Resident Evil 7. Like, I don't know. It's probably just me accidentally watching some of it beforehand as well. But I'm like, yeah, I see the connections to
the other
games and stuff.
That can affect
it's like,
yeah.
I may be completely wrong, but I have some really fucking good guesses, because I still haven't finished it yet, obviously, but I have some real good guesses as to what the hell is going on in it.
Yeah, you've probably seen spoilers on it.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, really?
Just have guesses. I've seen spoilers up to like the point that I'm actually at in the game, but I've not seen the ending, and I've not seen the actual explanations if there are any. I've not seen any of the DLC. It's just to have guesses, you know. Like the most spoilery thing I think I've seen was actually in the demo, where you can actually get the phone call that mentions something about Umbrella. Like, essentially, like, it was the confirmation that, yes, this is still linked to the same universe that Resident Evil has been set in before.
Yeah. I get
that's
you.
About it. Like, other than that, it's just all guesses I have about stuff, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah, we'll see.
It's just like the creatures in it and stuff, they remind me of the regenerators from 4. The action feels like they simultaneously tried to give you a little more freedom of movement while still restricting how fast you can move and how you can actually react to things, down to the point where it feels like you have like, you know, weights in the bottom of your shoes in the game.
Well, Ethan's not a soldier. He's not used to that kind
I've
of
heard that
situation.
argument for a lot of games, and I'm like, I'm not a soldier either. I can still jog 20 meters. Like, I can still run faster than the guy in that game can. Like, I mean,
In a
I heard that
confined
same
hallway
argument
like
for
that?
Silent Hill Homecoming, and, like, people were like, oh, he is a soldier. He can defend himself and stuff. And I'm like, dude, even if he's a soldier, like, it's just swinging a bat at something's head. It's not that fucking hard.
Well, yeah,
to do.
you say you can run 20 meters, but can you do that contiguously throughout the entire experience, though?
Well, no, but, I mean, like, stamina meters, etc., stuff like that in other games, like, you know, that makes you a little faster, like, without making it unrealistic, because, like, at least you can sprint down a hallway, and, like, but, like, 7, it's like your pace is constantly, like,
No, there's actually a button that actually lets you run to a certain extent.
it's not very fast, though. Like, compared to, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, Outlast. Outlast, actually, that feels realistic. Because you can walk around at about the same pace that you walk around in RE7 normally. When you hit your sprint button, though, you actually go at a decent little jog, you know? Like, you fucking make some, like, time. But, I don't know, Resident Evil just feels, like, a little clunky on the movement still. And it's always felt clunky on movement, but at least you were jogging at a decent pace before, whereas, like, they still, like, you know, when you were going to aim with your gun, like, your feet are frozen. Like, you can't go nowhere while you're aiming, you know? And that's always the thing that bothered me before about Resident Evil and all of them. It's just, like, I've always been like, why can't you just fucking, like, pow, pow, you know, that people can backpedal while they shoot a gun.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I don't know. It's like it's mechanics that I've talked about previously with people. It's like a false sense of horror. Like, they try to make it scarier by basically handicapping you, essentially.
well, when you're in a situation like that, I mean, honestly, dude, people in bad situations like that, they freeze. They do.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, I've heard this.
After you've killed 100 zombies, though, would you still be freezing with every time you had to take a shot at one?
I don't know. I haven't been in a situation like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an extraordinary situation, and plus, here's the be-all, end-all of it. It's a fucking video game. I mean, as much as we want physics to be like it is here in the one game or in the real world or something like that, take it up with Capcom.
Well, I mean, I've always said Capcom is, like, you know, really hit or miss for me. It's like they do a lot of stuff I like, and they do a lot of stuff I'm like, eh. It's like, and usually I disagree on, like, the whole with everybody else too, because I mean, most people were like, yeah, Resident Evil 4 is the best one, and I'm just like, they threw out the zombies, man. Like, I didn't care as much for it. It's still a fun game, but like Resident Evil 5, everybody's like, yeah, it's basically, you know, not playable without a friend and stuff like that, and I pretty much agree with everybody on that one.
Yeah. Me and Zach, we played through 5 together, and it was a fun experience.
6, I've heard a lot of people be like, yeah, it was really good, and I was just like, oh god, dude, like 6, I don't know what they were.
No, there's no one out there I've talked to that thinks 6 is a good game.
I've heard a couple of people be like, I really enjoyed 6. I'm like, fuck, how?
Did you look?
How
okay,
the fuck?
Okay, did you find these people at a mental hospital, or
No.
did you were they like concocted up by some Capcom asshole who just wanted someone to like the game?
I don't know, man.
No one I know likes 6. No one. Like, no one. Everyone I've talked to who's played the game has said it's an uneven mess of a fucking game that has very little, like, horror aspect and has an absolutely atrocious story.
Mm-hmm.
It's so scattershot and it's all over the place. And I was even recommended to play it chronologically. And in order to play it chronologically, you know, you start the game. You start as Jacob, or you start as Wesker's son, and then after that you move on and you play as Chris, and then the final part you play as Leon, and then you do Ada's mission after that. That's the chronological order, or at least according to what people say, and that's how I played it, and I had an okay time, but by comparison to what I was expecting from Resident Evil 6. Ugh.
Yeah.
It hurt. It flipping hurt, dude. And I wanted to like 6. I did. But after I was finished playing it, I sat back and I was just like, well, I'm going to return this now. Because my cousin Zach, he didn't have a chance to play it because he was doing something that weekend, and I pretty much beat it in one day.
Basically, it just goes back to like the same thing where I never understood the argument that people made for disliking Silent Hill Homecoming, because they were pissed that you could sidestep and you could like dodge attacks, and like they were angry about that. And like, you know, Silent Hill's devs were like, well, your main character's a soldier, he has some combat training. I'm like, you don't even need combat training to do that. Why are people even mad about that? That's such a stupid reason to dislike a game. It's like, oh yeah, you're not a fucking tank anymore. Like, you're not playing tank controls, so it's not scary anymore. It's not Silent Hill anymore.
People complain over anything, dude.
Yeah. People
complain over anything and everything, man. And the only thing that matters is that if you enjoyed the game, good on you. If you didn't, oh well. And with that, we are going to call this video to a close. This was SuperButterBuns Resident Evil 7 for beginners. So if you all liked this SuperButterBuns video, let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to check out SuperButterBuns, the link to the original video is down below in the description. And if you want to see more from us, feel free to let us know. And until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
And we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
That fucking shark has been on the screen for a really long time, and it's freaking me out.